What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today I'm sharing swatches of the Zoya Luxe Noir collection for winter holiday 2024. Now if you haven't heard of Zoya before, they are a mainstream nail polish brand and all of their polishes are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They are vegan, meaning they do not use any animal derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So I gotta be honest, I feel like I've been reviewing Zoya pretty sporadically recently. I haven't been reviewing them too much, but once I saw this collection, I knew that I had to try them. We've got 6 brand new nail polishes, 3 of which are cream finishes, 3 of which are specialty finishes, and one of those is actually a hollow jelly. And these colors are absolutely stunning. So let me show you the swatches of these, then we can get into my thoughts on them, and then we talk about pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the Orly Bonder base coat. Okay, I'll swatch the cream finishes first, starting with the one I was the most excited about. This is Bowie, and as you can see, this one is a stunning blurple cream nail polish. So it sits somewhere between being a blue and a purple. I would consider it to be an extremely cool toned purple shade. It actually reminds me a lot of one of my favorite polishes of all time, Orly Synthetic Symphony, but I would say this one is a little bit darker and maybe slightly more blue toned, and it gave me perfect coverage in 2 coats. The formula was super easy to use, very self-leveling, and the color itself was just absolutely stunning. It did dry down to a semi-matte kind of finish, almost a satiny finish, and I think that's pretty common when it comes to this type of almost neon saturated kind of shade. Next up we have the shade Isley, and this one is a navy blue cream polish. So this one was actually a little bit sheer on the first coat. You could see it gave me almost a jelly-like feel to it, but it ended up giving me perfect coverage in the second. And what I really liked about this shade is how saturated it was. You can see it was a little bit more vibrant than the navy blues we normally see, especially around this time of year. It almost reminded me a little bit of the summery kind of navy blues that we get, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's a beautiful color. It does remind me of a winter night sky, and like I said, it gave me perfect coverage in 2 coats. It was really easy to apply. And then the third cream finish we have is this one Beckett, and this one is a medium teal cream finish, and this one was actually incredibly opaque. I could get away with doing 1 coat for full coverage on my nail length. You can see this is what it looked like in 1 coat. It did dry down very slightly darker on my nails than it looked in the bottle, but it's a really beautiful shade. Again, it has a little bit more vibrance and color to it than I expected it to have. I feel like compared to the other 2 shades, it does look like it has a little bit of dustiness, but I promise you this one is also very vibrant. I think the 3 colors together actually are really beautiful, so I'm going to try to incorporate them together in some nail art. But yeah, absolutely stunning formula and a really beautiful color. So now moving on to the specialty finishes, which I will admit I was very pleasantly surprised by. This first one is Shayne, and this one was a hollow jelly. So we've got this gray jelly base, and it is totally packed with silver hollow micro glitter. So you can see that rainbow sparkle in there was so incredible. I started off with 2 coats, but I found that it was still pretty sheer. So I ended up going in with a 3rd coat, and I felt that that was perfect coverage. I got the perfect depth of that gray color. It ended up being a nice medium gray. You could still see very faintly through it to see all of the layers of glitter on my nail, but it still gave really nice coverage. And of course it was super holographic, so I do love to see that. Then we have the shade Billie, which I was so pleasantly surprised by. This one is a purple shimmer polish, but I absolutely did not expect this one to have the depth and color that it ended up having. So it's actually this really beautiful, slightly warmer toned, almost like eggplant purple base, but within it we have this really beautiful combination of blue flecks as well as copper flecks. So with that combination, we've got the warm purple shimmer, we've got the copper, we've got the blue, and it ends up forming such a beautiful purple. I feel like my camera does not do this one justice because it is absolutely mesmerizing in real life. And again, the formula was just so easy and workable. It gave me perfect coverage in 2 coats. And then last but not least, we have the shade Axelle, which is a really beautiful red shimmer, and this one has a ton of golden sparkle running throughout, and you can see there's just this very slightly larger gold fleck in there that catches the light a little bit differently consistently, and I love when polishes have that. I think it's something that Zoya does a lot and they do it really well. And this is just a classic, perfect Christmassy type of polish to me, but whenever I see a beautiful red and gold color like this, I always also think of Lunar New Year. So I think this is perfect for either occasion, but it's also just a really great classic red to have in your collection. So again, perfect coverage in 2 coats here. And here, all the polishes together, we've got the cream finishes on top, the specialty finishes on the bottom, and I am just so impressed with this collection. I think that the color selection was incredible. I love all of the cream finishes. I love how intensely saturated they are, especially Bowie, but honestly, the other 2 look so beautiful as well, and I think they would all be really great staple colors just to have in your collection for any time of year. As far as the specialty finishes, I loved those as well. I love how much depth there is to each color. I feel like there's just so much going on. They seem very deceptively simple, but once you start to look closely at them, you can just see so much going on, and I really love that. So aside from that, really enjoyed the formulas, but let's talk about it a little bit more. So yeah, those are the polishes, and as you can see, I totally loved these. I was really impressed with those cream finishes. Even though they're on the deeper side, they're almost neon in saturation, which I thought was just so impressive. The colors are absolutely unreal. And as far as those specialty finishes, I have to say those are way prettier in person. My videos did not do them justice. I feel like there's just so much depth to them. And the colors, again, they just have this depth, but also a lot of vibrance to them. So they're really bright and saturated as well, which is just so stunning. As far as the formula, it was just super easy to work with. The creams did dry down to a more satin kind of finish, which I find is pretty common with very saturated shades. So those might be a little bit more difficult for self-leveling, but I still found them to be very workable and smooth. So even if you're not too careful with application, it could just be a little bit off and it would be fixed with top coat. But as far as those specialty finishes, those were incredibly easy to work with, especially the shimmers. They're very self-leveling, they're very smooth, and they were also really opaque. So yeah, I feel like this really revitalized my love for Zoya, and I feel like their winter collections do tend to do that to me, because whenever it comes to these deep jeweled tones, they really knock it out of the park. So I'm hoping they come out with more shades like this, because I think they just did an incredible job with the formulas, the opacity, the color story, and just how rich and deep everything is. It just really feels like the Zoya that I have loved. So yeah, now let's get into pricing and availability. These polishes come in 15 milliliter bottles. They do feature the wide flat brush. I believe they fully switched over to that brush, which I personally prefer, and those retail for $12 USD each. But on the Zoya website, they also have a 7 milliliter bottle, so a little mini bottle, and that retails for $8 USD. So I'm gonna link everything down in the description. You can check them out if you're interested, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this collection? What are your thoughts on Zoya in general, especially recently? And which of these shades is your favorite? Leave it all in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's Would You Rather question is, would you rather give up showering or the internet for a month? I feel like this is an easy one. I would very much give up the internet for a month. I mean, I definitely am reliant on it, and I check my phone a lot and I go on the internet a lot, but I don't think I could go any amount of time without showering. I don't think I could do it. I work out, I sweat, it couldn't happen for me. So yeah, I would have to give up internet for that. It would be a tough month, but at least I would smell good. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what everybody else's responses would be, so let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.